In this lesson, we'll cover viewing rebar in 3D. By default, when you create rebar, it may or may not be visible in other views, specifically a three-dimensional view. So how do we go about turning it on within the three-dimensional view? Well, first let's select that rebar that we want to see in our 3D view. So in this section, let's zoom in, and you can see a piece of rebar is actually created. Go ahead and select it. Now, obviously, we currently see the rebar in this view, but to see it in a three-dimensional view, we need to tell Revit to actually show it. So with the rebar selected, in the property area on the left, scroll down to the graphics section. Here you see View Visibility States. Click Edit. In this window, we can tell Revit to actually show this rebar element in these different types of views. At the very top are our 3D views. The second one down is the default 3D view. I can click mark the check saying that I want to view this unobscured. I can also view it as a solid. What that means is since this rebar is sitting inside of a solid beam, we'll still be able to see it visually in the 3D view. Go ahead and click OK. Click in the background to deselect. Now, let's go to our default 3D view. On the top of the Revit window, click Default 3D View. The 3D view will open up, and in the lower right corner, if you zoom in, you actually see this rebar and all of the segments of the rebar that are created, and we visually can see it within the 3D view. Now, based on the orientation of your view, it may look like it's sitting on top of the actual floor or beam, but it's actually not. It's sitting in the beam inside the actual floor. So I can reposition my window to actually see this. Now, the same would be true with other rebar if you want to show that inside of your floors, your columns, your walls, and whether it's a 3D view or a section view or a planar view, you would go about the same method to visually show that rebar in those views. So as a review, in this lesson, we covered viewing rebar in 3D. We selected the rebar that we created in a section view, and then we edited the states of the rebar. Here, we told Revit to visually show unobstructed views of this rebar. Regardless if the rebar is inside of a solid or not, we were still able to see it. Then lastly, we went to the 3D view to view the rebar.